Stop chasing, start attracting. The Stoic path to irresistible masculinity. Stop everything you're doing and forget the lies you've been told about relationships. Forget the toxic advice about money, looks, or magic phrases to attract others. What if I told you that you've been approaching things entirely wrong? What if I told you that everything you've heard about women is a lie? Women don't care about your six-pack abs, your salary, or your car. The truth is much simpler, much more powerful, and it's something 99% of men will never discover. They'll continue to chase and fail, wondering why they're not succeeding. But you're about to learn the secrets that will completely change your perspective on relationships forever. You want to become the man she can't stop thinking about. The man who stays in her mind no matter who she's with or where she goes. It's time to stop following the rules of weak men. If you think buying her gifts or telling her she's beautiful will make her obsessed with you, you're already on the wrong path. What you need to understand is this. Women desire a man who doesn't need them. A man who is completely in control of himself. A man who doesn't chase women. She's not attracted to what you think you're offering. She's attracted to power, self-control, and mystery. And here's the secret. When you stop chasing, when you stop seeking validation from others, you become that man. Stay with me for a few minutes, and I'll show you exactly how to turn things around in your favor, and how to use the ancient wisdom of Stoic philosophy to make any woman attracted to you. It's not about trickery or manipulation. It's about becoming a man so strong and self-controlled that she can't help but be drawn to you. Ready to change your life? Let's begin. 1. Control and confidence. The core elements. Most men are emotionally unstable, even if they don't realize it. They let their emotions control them every single day. Think about it. You send her a message, and if she doesn't reply immediately, you start to worry and wonder if something's wrong, and you start doubting yourself. Then you find yourself feeling anxious, maybe even desperate. This is the problem. When you let your emotions guide your behavior, you lose control, and women sense that. Women don't want a man who constantly reacts with emotion. They want a man who can remain calm and composed no matter what happens. Here's where Stoic philosophy becomes your best ally. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we can truly control is ourselves, our thoughts, our reactions, and our behavior. Everything else is beyond our control. When you learn to master your emotions, you stop reacting to every little thing and start responding consciously and purposefully. And that's where the power lies with women. They notice when a man is calm and not emotionally swayed by every move. They see him differently. They respect him more, and most importantly, they're more attracted to him. How does this work in real life? Let's illustrate with a practical example. Suppose you're texting a woman you like, and suddenly, she stops replying. Hours pass, maybe even a whole day. Most men would start to panic. They'd check their phones every few minutes, hoping for a reply. They'd start overthinking every word they said, wondering if they did something wrong. Then they'd send another message, like, "Did you get my last message?" Or, even worse, "Did I upset you?" But this is the exact opposite of what you should do. When you react this way, you show her that you are emotionally dependent on her response, and that kills your attractiveness. What would a Stoic man do in this situation? He would remain calm. He wouldn't even dwell on her not replying because he knows that her response or lack thereof doesn't affect his value. He has other things to focus on. His goals, his hobbies, his self-improvement. And when she eventually replies, which she will, he won't be fazed. This is the power of emotional control. By not reacting, you show her that you don't need her, you're not desperate, and you're unaffected by her actions. And that's what makes you different from all the other men she's used to dealing with. Think about it this way. When you don't need her reply, and you're not constantly seeking her validation, you become the man who is in control. She starts to wonder why you're so calm, and why you don't react like other men. This creates mystery, and sparks curiosity about you. She starts thinking about you more, wondering what's on your mind. This is the kind of emotional power you should strive to build. 2. Why most men fail, the trap of neediness. Neediness is one of the biggest obstacles that stands in a man's way in relationships. When you're in a state of desperation for her attention, when you're constantly trying to gain her approval, you're giving away your power, and women sense that. Neediness is like a blinking neon sign that says, "I need validation." And once a woman senses that you're relying on her to make you feel good about yourself, she starts to lose interest. Why? Because neediness represents weakness. And women are not attracted to weakness, they're attracted to strength. When you're constantly texting her, stalking her social media, and always trying to get her attention, you're showing her that she's in control. And no woman wants a man she can control. Women are biologically wired to seek out strength. They want to be with a man who is confident, a man who doesn't need constant reassurance from them. This is where most men go wrong. They think that increased attention will make her like them more. But the truth is, too much attention pushes her away. How do you break free from this pattern of neediness and desperation? It starts by changing the way you approach giving attention. Let's say you follow a woman on social media, and every time she posts a picture, you're one of the first to hit the like button, maybe even leave a comment, trying to get her attention. You're reacting to everything she does online. But this is what hundreds of other men are doing too. You become part of the crowd, just another guy chasing her. But what should you do instead? Nothing. Don't like the picture. Don't leave a comment. Don't mention the post. Why? Because by doing so, you show her that your attention is valuable, and you don't hand it out to just anyone. You make her work for it. By not engaging and not providing the validation she's accustomed to getting from other men, you instantly stand out. She starts to wonder why you're different from the others, and she starts thinking about you. And this curiosity is what generates attraction. Most men are so desperate that they're unable to curb their interest. They're too afraid of losing her. But when you pull back, when you show her that you don't need her validation, you become the man she wants to pursue. This doesn't mean you ignore her completely or play games. It means you show her that your life doesn't revolve around her. You have your own goals and your own purpose. And when she sees that you're not dependent on her attention, she'll start to see you differently, and she'll start to appreciate you more. 3. The art of strategic disregard. When to ignore her. Now that you understand the importance of not giving away your attention too easily, let's talk about one of the most powerful strategies for capturing her interest. Knowing when to ignore her. There's a psychological principle most men don't realize. Ignoring her at the right moments can create an irresistible attraction. I'm not talking about playing mind games or being disrespectful, but about showing that you're not always available and you won't drop everything for her. Women are used to men who chase them and shower them with constant attention. When you're the man who doesn't do that, you immediately stand out. Think about it. If you're always there, always replying instantly, always giving her your time and attention, she'll start to take you for granted. She knows you'll always be there, so there's no need for her to put in any effort. But when you pull back, give her space and ignore her at the right moments, she starts to feel something different. She starts to feel curious, wondering why you're not behaving like all the other men. And that curiosity turns into attraction. How do you apply this strategy in a natural and genuine way? Let me explain. Let's say you've been talking to a girl for a while, and things are going well. Then suddenly, she starts to pull back. Maybe she's not replying as quickly, or she's not as engaged in conversation as she used to be. Most men would panic. They'd start sending more messages, trying to get her attention, trying to fix the situation. But that's not what you should do. Instead, do nothing. Let her have her space. Don't chase her. Continue to focus on your own life, and let her come to you. This is where most men fail. They panic when a woman pulls back and start chasing her harder. But when you do the opposite, when you give her space, she starts to wonder about you more. She starts thinking about you because you're not acting like all the other men she's used to. And that's what makes you different, and that's what makes you stand out. Women are attracted to men who are not always available, who don't make them the center of their universe. When you ignore her at the right moments, you show her that you have your own life, your own goals, and that you won't drop everything for her. And that is incredibly attractive to women. It shows strength, it shows confidence, and it shows that you're a man who is in control of his time and energy. And when a woman sees that, she starts to pursue you. She starts to desire your attention more because you don't give it to her easily. 4. Cultivating a fearless mindset. Developing a fearless mindset is one of the most important lessons you can learn from Stoic philosophy. Most men are driven by fears. Fear of rejection, fear of losing her, fear of not being good enough. And these fears show up in everything they do. They show up in the way they talk, the way they interact, and the way they communicate with women. But here's what Stoicism teaches us. Fear is the enemy of success. When you're afraid of rejection, you're giving her all the power. And when you're afraid of losing her, you're acting from a place of scarcity. And women sense that. A stoic man, however, does not fear rejection, nor does he fear losing her. Why? Because he knows that his value does not come from her approval. He understands that whether she stays or leaves, he will be okay. He doesn't need her to feel complete. He is complete within himself. And this kind of thinking is what makes a man irresistibly attractive to women. They desire a man who is confident in himself, a man who is not afraid to walk away if things don't go his way. So how do you develop this fearless mindset? How do you stop allowing fear to control your actions? Here's how in a real-life scenario. Let's say you've been talking to a girl for a few weeks and suddenly she starts pulling away. Maybe she's not texting as much or she's not as excited to meet up. Most men would panic. They'd start sending more messages, trying to figure out what happened, and in the end they'd push her further away. But not you. You remain calm. You don't let her actions affect your emotions. You continue to focus on your life and your goals, and you don't chase her. You understand that her pulling away is her choice, but it doesn't diminish your value. When a woman sees that you're not afraid of losing her, and that you're not desperate for her attention, she starts to respect you more and appreciate you more. Why? Because you're showing her that you're a man who is in control of his emotions, and that you don't let fear dictate your actions. And that is incredibly attractive. Developing a fearless mindset is not just about women. It's about how you approach life. When you're not afraid of failure, and you're not afraid of rejection, you become unstoppable. You start taking risks, you put yourself in new situations, and you start achieving more. Women are attracted to men who fear nothing, men who don't back down from challenges. And when you develop this mindset, you become the man women can't help but be attracted to. 5. Mastering rejection. Becoming unfazed. Rejection is an inevitable part of life and relationships, yet most men allow rejection to destroy their self-confidence. They take it personally, which impacts how they view themselves. But here's the truth. Rejection is not about you. It's about the other person's preference, mood, or situation, and it has nothing to do with your worth. A stoic man understands this and uses rejection as fuel to become stronger. The more you face rejection, the more resilient you become. And the more resilient you become, the more confident you become. Let me show you how this works in real life and how you can turn rejection into your biggest advantage. Suppose you approach a woman at a social event and she doesn't seem interested. Most men would walk away feeling ashamed and defeated, perhaps avoiding approaching women in the future. But not you. You smile, thank her for her time, and move on to the next person. Why? Because you know that her rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's just one interaction, and there are plenty of other opportunities waiting for you. The more you embrace rejection, the more confident you become. Rejection is part of the process, not something to be feared. And when you handle rejection with grace, when you walk away without letting it affect your confidence, women notice that. They see that you're not easily shaken, and that you're not dependent on their approval. And this strength attracts them to you. The bottom line is that rejection doesn't define you, and your self-worth is not built on whether someone likes you or not. It comes from within. And the more you build that inner confidence, the more attractive you become. Women want to be with a man who is unfazed, a man who doesn't let rejection bring him down. When you master rejection, you become the man who stands out, the man who is in control of his life and his emotions. The takeaway. So here's the summary. If you want to become the man she can't stop thinking about, the man she chases, the man she adores, you need to stop focusing on her and start focusing on yourself. It's not about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about truly becoming the man you were always meant to be, a man who is in control of his emotions, his life, and his future. When you stop chasing, when you stop seeking validation from women, you become the man who stands out. Women are naturally attracted to men who are confident and in control of their lives, men who don't need them to feel complete. This is the essence of Stoicism, and this is the path to becoming irresistible. Finally, it's time for action. Stop living in fear. Stop letting rejection hold you back. Start embracing the principles of Stoicism, and watch how your life transforms. Leave a comment below if you're ready to start your journey. Hit the subscribe button if you're committed to becoming the man you know you can be. This is your moment. The power is in your hands. It's time to take control.